So I do want to get to your calls. I want to hit one article here first and get that out of the way. Because a lot of people, a lot of good, sane, rational friends of mine who I know and respect have pulled me aside if they've seen me personally or sent me emails or sent me messages saying, geez, what do you think really happened here? And, what did they got him, didn't they? They got him. And here's the deal, guys. I know exactly what you all know, which is, and the coroner's office confirmed today that this was definitely heart-related. And I think that it's been made somewhat public now that this is not the first incident that Andrew had with his heart. Now, a lot of people have said, we heard that Andrew's father also had a heart condition, and maybe this was a hereditary thing. Please understand that Andrew is adopted, so the fact that his father had heart problems is not connected to this at all, obviously. But there's one thing in particular that I really want to address, and that is this whole idea that he was in some way targeted because he has been dealing with this very volatile and dangerous information, and that he has all these enemies who are, trying to get him because of this, because of these tapes that he said he had at CPAC. And most specifically, I want to address this thing, and I'm not going to say who is saying it, and I'm not saying the website because they don't deserve it. And let me put it this way. Let me start this out by saying this. Anything that you see or hear on the radio or see on the internet out there that has stuff that they think is in some way validated and in some way backs up the idea that Andrew was the victim of some nefarious, horrible plot, I guarantee you, I am telling you right now, I guarantee you unambiguously that not one of those people that are on the radio and not one of those people who have written anything on the internet has spoken to anybody that actually knows the facts. They have not spoken to Andrew's family. They have not spoken to Andrew's closest work associates. I know this for a fact. So you need to understand that and put that in perspective when you read all of these things, all of this inside information. Let me tell you something. There are probably 6 people in this world who have any kind of inside information, and none of them have spoken to any of these people. Now, let me just nail this thing down right now, because this is the thing that has been most provocative, and this is the thing that so many people have been hammering on, and that is this quote of Andrew Breitbart saying, "Wait till they see what happens March 1st. I understand. That sounds so creepy, right? Let me read this. In a stunning coincidence, it appears Andrew Breitbart suffered his untimely death just hours before he was set to release damning video footage that could have sunk Barack Obama's 2012 re-election campaign." Okay, that entire paragraph is a fairy tale, an absolute fairy tale. Moving on. Around 3 weeks ago, on February 9th, during the Blog Bash event in Washington, D.C., Breitbart made a prophetic comment that takes on a somewhat chilling nature given the fact that he died in the early hours of March 1st. Speaking to Lawrence Sinclair of Sinclair News, Breitbart stated, "Wait till they see what happens March 1st. Now, Andrew did say, wait till they see what happens March 1st. Andrew Breitbart said that. Let me go on. Now, I want you to hear this sentence really clearly, because this, we expect this from left-wing media. So we're kind of used to looking for how sentences are constructed. Listen to how this sentence is constructed. It's almost certain that Breitbart was referring to his plan to release damning footage of President Obama that he had been promising to reveal throughout the month of February. It's almost certain? Really? That is a heck of a statement. It's almost certain that Breitbart was referring to. Really? Now, who did this writer research that with to make sure that it is almost certain? What could he have possibly been saying when he said, wait till they see what happens on March 1st? I'll give you a hint. There's nothing in this article that I'm reading that says anything about the fact that he has been pouring all of his heart and all of his soul and all of his resources into a complete and total radical redesign of his websites. And guess what the completion date was? Guess what the date was that the designers had to contractually adhere to? Go ahead. Take a guess. Why, that would be March 1st. Anything that Andrew said over the last month about ramping up toward March 1st, about what was going to happen March 1st or the first week of March, it was all about his site. He is so excited for you to see his site. One other thing. Andrew was right. There is a story that involves video, and it involves President Obama during his university days. But this sentence here that describes it, damning video footage that could have sunk Barack Obama's 2012 re-election campaign. Andrew never said that. He never characterized the videotapes that way. Ever. What he said at CPAC, I was there, I was in the room, it's on video, go look at it. What he said was, we are going to vet this president in the way the mainstream media didn't do in 2008. There was no big government then. There was no big Hollywood then. There was no big journalism then. Andrew Breitbart's sites launched 2 weeks before Barack Obama was inaugurated. The entire vetting process just went by without any comment. Andrew had nothing to say about it, and he made it clear to all of us that this was our time. This was our opportunity to finally vet this man. And it would begin with this story. Furthermore, in the last editorial meeting that Mr. Breitbart had with his staff, we talked about all of the stories that we had to launch this new site with. Now let me ask you something. If he had damning video footage that would have sunk Barack Obama's 2012 re-election campaign, first of all, do you think he would have waited? Well, he might have. But secondly, don't you think that's what he would have run on the day the sites launched? Well, you'll have to tune in to see if that's what our number one story is when we launch the sites. Anyone who is repeating this stuff, who is passing it on, who is saying, oh, look what he said, oh, this is, they went after him because of this, they're just really low. And they're being disrespectful. And it bothers me quite a bit. It really bothers me because I'm hearing this stuff from people who are friends. And none of the people who went public with this and published this stuff and went on the radio and said these things or speculated about these things, none of them have called or emailed to ask. None of them. All right. Got that out of the way. So if you're calling to ask about that stuff, don't. Let's take some calls. Let's go to Nick in Culver City. Nick, thank you so much for calling in.